And now we finally get to go back to the Toxic Factory / Sludge Slides to take on the other level, the Sludge Slides. As the name implies, this is a sliding level, and it's actually not as hard as you think it would be, being one of the hardest slide levels in the game. We now have access to it because that pipe is open and the truck has moved. The truck have moved! But first, we have to collect all the nitro boxes and die before we can actually enter that level. Or, wait a second, we actually have 7 power out of 7 power to open up this tunnel here. And in the secret level, it is also a slide. So, because slide levels are so boring, I've decided to take this opportunity to inform you with a little bit of lore on the Jersey Devil. The real one, not the purple, non-threatening child version. The Jersey Devil, the supposed mythical creature of the New Jersey Pinelands, has haunted New Jersey and the surrounding area for the past 260 years. This entity has been seen by over 2,000 witnesses over this period. It has terrorized towns and caused factories and schools to close down, yet many people believe that the New Jersey Devil is a legend, a mythical beast that originated from the folklore of the New Jersey Pine Barrens. Others disagree with this point of view. There is evidence to support the existence of an animal or supernatural being known as the Jersey Devil. The evidence consists of the stories of the Jersey Devil's origins, the sightings of it, and finally the theories on it. There are many different versions of the birth of the Jersey Devil. One of the most popular legends says a Mrs. Shrouds of Leeds Point, New Jersey, made a wish that if she ever had another child, she wanted it to be a devil. Her next child was born misshapen and deformed. She sheltered in the house, so the curious wouldn't come see him. On a stormy night, the child flapped its arms, which turned into wings, and escaped out the chimney and was never seen by the family again. A Mrs. Bowen of Leeds Point said, the Jersey Devil was born in the Shrouds' house at Leeds Point. Another story that also placed the birth at Leeds Point said that a younger girl fell in love with a British soldier during the Revolutionary War. The people of Leeds Point cursed her. When she gave birth, she had a devil. Some people believe the birth of the devil was punishment for the mistreatment of a minister by the Leeds folk. Another story placed the birth in Estelville, New Jersey. Mrs. Leeds of Estelville, finding out she was pregnant with her 13th child, shouted, "I hope it's a devil." She got her wish. The child was born with horns, a tail, wings, and a horse-like head. The creature revisited Mrs. Leeds every day. She stood at her door and told it to leave. After a while, the creature got the hint and never returned. Burlington, New Jersey also claims to be the birthplace of the Jersey Devil. In 1735, Mother Leeds was in labor on a stormy night. Gathered around her were her friends. Mother Leeds was supposedly a witch, and the child's father was the devil himself. The child was born normal, but then changed form. It changed from a normal baby to a creature with hooves, a horse's head, bat wings, and a forked tail. It beat everyone present and then flew up the chimney. It circled the villages and headed toward the pines. In 1740, a clergy exorcised the devil for 100 years, and it wasn't seen again until 1890. There are many other versions of the legend. The legends say it was the 6th, 8th, 10th, 12th, or 13th child. It was born normal or deformed, and the mother confined it to the cellar or the attic. Although there are many discrepancies in all of these stories, there are 3 pieces of evidence that tie all the legends of the Jersey Devil's origin together. The first thing that ties the legend together is the name Leeds. The origins provide some validity to the existence of the Jersey Devil, but the sightings are the most substantial pieces of evidence. The sightings have been divided up into 3 time periods: pre-1909, January 16th to the 23rd of 1909, and post-1909. From the pre-1909 era, few documented records of the sightings still exist. The ones that do confirm the existence of the devil. In the early 19th century, Commodore Stephen Decatur, a naval hero, was testing cannonballs in the firing range when he saw a strange creature flying across the sky. He fired and hit the creature, but it kept right on flying across the field. Joseph Bonaparte, the former king of Spain and brother of Napoleon, saw the Jersey Devil in Bordentown, New Jersey, between 1816 and 1839 while he was hunting. In 1840-41, many sheep and chickens were killed by a creature with piercing scream and strange tracks. In 1859-94, the Jersey Devil was seen numerous times and reportedly carried off anything that moved in Haddonfield, Bridgeton, Smithville, Long Branch, Brigantine, and Leeds Point. W.F. Meyer of New York noticed while visiting the Pine Barrens, most of the locals would not venture out after dark. The devil was sighted by a George Sauceroy, a prominent businessman at the New Jersey-New York border. This was the last reported sighting before the turn of the century. In 1903, Charles Skinner, author of American Myths and Legends, claimed the legend of the devil had run its course, and that in the new century, New Jersey would hear no more of the devil. New Jersey rested easy with that thought for 6 years, until the week of January 16th to 23rd, 1909. During this week, the devil would leave its tracks all over South Jersey and Philadelphia. He was seen by over 1,000 people. This was his largest appearance ever. It all started early Sunday morning, January 16th, 1909. Thack Cozzens of Woodbury, New Jersey, saw a flying creature with glowing eyes flying down the street. In Bristol, Pennsylvania, John McCowan heard and saw the strange creature on the banks of the canal. Patrol James Sackville fired at the creature as it flew away screaming. E.W. Minister, postmaster of Bristol, Pennsylvania, also saw a bird-like creature with horse's head that had a piercing scream. When daylight came, the residents of Bristol found 2 hoofprints in the snow. 2 local trappers said they had never seen tracks like those before. On Monday, the Lowdens of Burlington, New Jersey found hoofprints in their yard and around their trash, which was half-eaten. Almost every yard in Burlington had these strange hoofprints in them. The prints went up trees, went from roof to roof, disappeared in the middle of the road, and stopped in the middle of open fields. The same tracks were also found in Columbus, Heading, Kinhora, and Rancocas. A hunt was organized to follow the tracks, but the dogs wouldn't follow the trail. On the 19th, the Jersey Devil made his longest appearance of the week. At 2:30 a.m., Mr. and Mrs. Nelson Evans of Gloucester were awakened by a strange noise. They watched the devil from their window for 10 minutes. Mr. Evans described the creature they saw. It was about 3.5 feet high, with a head like a collie dog and a face like a horse. It had a long neck, wings about 2 feet long, and its back legs were like those of a crane, and it had horse's hooves. It walked on its back legs and held up its 2 short front legs with paws on them. It didn't use the front legs at all while we were watching. My wife and I were scared, I should tell you, but I managed to open the window and say, "Shoo!" and it turned around and barked at me, and it flew away. Tuesday afternoon, 2 professional hunters tracked the devil for 20 minutes in Gloucester. The trail jumped 5-foot fences and went under 8-inch spaces. The hoofprints were found in more parts of South Jersey. A group of observers in Camden, New Jersey saw the devil. It barked at them and then took off into the air. The next day, a Burlington police officer, Reverend John Purcell of Pemberton, saw the Jersey Devil. Reverend Purcell said, "Never saw anything like it before." Posses in Haddonfield found tracks that ended abruptly. In Collingswood, New Jersey, a posse watched the devil fly off towards Moortown. Near Moorestown, John Smith of Maple Shades saw the devil at Mount Caramel Cemetery. George Snyder saw the devil right after Mr. Smith, and their descriptions were identical. In Riverside, New Jersey, hoofprints were found on the rooftops, and also around a dead puppy. On Thursday, the New Jersey Devil was seen by the Black Hawk Social Club. He was also seen by a trolley full of people in Clementon as it circled above them. The witness's description matched others from the days before. In Trenton, Councilman E.P. Whedon heard the flapping of wings and then found hoofprints outside his door. The prints were also found in the arsenal in Trenton. As the day wore on, the trolleys in Trenton and New Brunswick had armed drivers to ward off attacks. The people in Pittman filled churches. Chickens had been missing all week throughout the Delaware Valley, but when the farmers checked their yards that day, they found their chickens dead, with no marks on them. The West Collingswood Fire Department fired their hose at the devil. The devil retreated at first, but then charged and flew away at the last second. Later that night, Mrs. Sorbinski of Camden heard a commotion in her yard. She opened the door to see the Jersey Devil, standing there with her dog in its grasp. She hit the devil with a broom until it let go of her dog and flew away. She started screaming until her neighbors came over. 2 police officers arrived at her house where over 100 people had gathered. The crowd heard a screaming coming from Kagan Hill. The mob ran towards the creature on the hill. The police shot at it, and the devil flew off into the night. The streets of Camden were empty after this. On Friday, Camden police officer Louis Strayer saw the Jersey Devil drinking from a horse's trough. The school in Mount Ephraim was closed because no students came in. Mills and factories in Gloucester and Hainesport had to close because none of their employees came to work. Many New Jersey residents wouldn't leave their houses, even in daylight. Officer Merchant of Blackwood drew a sketch of the creature he saw. His sketch coincided with the descriptions from earlier in the week. Jacob Henderson saw the devil in Salem and described it as having wings and a tail. The devil was only seen once more in 1909 in February. Since 1909, the Jersey Devil has continued to be sighted by people all over New Jersey. The number of sightings that have been reported to the authorities have dwindled over the years. This could be attributed to the fact that people don't want to be branded as crazy. Even though the number of reported sightings has dropped, there's still a considerable amount of sightings in the post-1909 era. The sightings in prints are the most substantial evidence that exists. Many theories on the Jersey Devil are based upon that evidence. Some theories can be proven invalid, while others seem to provide support for the Jersey Devil's existence. One theory is that the Jersey Devil is a bird. Mrs. Cassidy of Clayton thought it was an invasion of scrowfoot ducks. A scrowfoot duck is much too small to be mistaken for a devil. Others believe the devil is really a sandhill crane. The crane used to live in South Jersey until it was pushed out by man. The sandhill crane weighs about 12 pounds, is 4 foot high, and has the wingspan of 80 inches. It avoids man, but if confronted it will fight. It has a loud screaming whooping voice that can be heard at a distance. This could account for the screams heard by the witnesses. The crane eats potatoes and corn. This could account for the raids on the crops. This theory doesn't explain, however, the killing of livestock. It also doesn't explain why people described the devil as having a hanging horse's head, bat wings, and a tail, all of which the crane doesn't have. Professor Bauhoff said that the tracks were made by some prehistoric animal from the Jurassic period. He believes the creature survived underground in a cavern. An expert from the Smithsonian Institute had a theory about ancient creatures surviving underground. He said Jersey Devil was a pterodactyl. The Academy of Natural Sciences could find no record of any creature, living or extinct, that resembles the Jersey Devil. Jack E. Boucher, author of Abzagami Yesteryear, has a theory in which he believes the devil was a deformed child. He thinks Mrs. Leeds had a disfigured child and kept it locked away in the house. She grew sick and couldn't feed the child anymore. It escaped out of hunger and raided local farms for food. This doesn't take into account the incredible lifespan of the devil. The child would have been 174 years old in 1909. It also doesn't account for the sightings of the devil flying. Only a small amount of the sightings and footprints could be hoaxes. The devil has been seen by reliable people such as police, government officials, postmasters, businessmen, and other people whose integrity is beyond question. As for the hoofprints, even if some of those were hoaxes, there was still no way to explain most of the tracks, especially the ones on the rooftops, and the tracks that ended abruptly as if the creature took wing. The last theory is the most controversial one. Many people believe that the Jersey Devil could be the very essence of evil embodied. It is said that the devil is an uncanny harbinger of war, and appears before any great conflict. The Jersey Devil was sighted before the start of the Civil War. It was also seen right before the Spanish-American War and World War I. In 1939, before the start of World War II, Mount Holly citizens were awakened by the noise of hooves on the rooftops. The devil was seen on December 7, 1941, right before the Pearl Harbor was bombed. He was also seen right before the Vietnam War. The Jersey Devil's habit of being a forerunner to wars could be because of his possible demonic origins. In 1730, Ben Franklin reported a story about a witchcraft trial near Mount Holly, New Jersey. One of the origin legends say that Mother Leeds was a witch. The devil's birth could have been the result of a witch's curse. Other facts support the supernatural theory are the reports of the death of the devil. When Commodore Decatur fired a cannonball at the devil, it went through him as if he was unaffected. In 1909, a track walker on the electric railroad saw the devil fly on the wires above the tracks. There was a violent explosion which melted the track 20 feet in both directions. No body was found, and the devil was later seen in perfect health. In 1957, the Department of Conservation found a strange corpse in a burned out area of the Pines. It was a partial skeleton, feathers and hind legs of an unidentifiable creature. The devil was thought to be dead, but reappeared when the people of New Jersey thought at that time that it was his real death. Each time he is reported dead, he returns, sometimes that year. It seems the devil is immortal, which a supernatural being would be. Another thing that supports this theory is the incredible distance the devil could fly in a short period of time. No animal could travel as fast as the devil did in 1909 when he was sighted in South Jersey, Philadelphia, or New York throughout the course of 1 week. None of these theories can give a definitive answer to what the Jersey Devil was or is, but the sighting proved that there is something out there. Whether the Jersey Devil is a bird or a demon is still left to speculation. The people of New Jersey have definitely seen something out there lurking in the Pine Barrens.